What if your hamstrings aren't actually tight? Hey guys, I'm Brett from Limitless Performance Physical Therapy, and hamstrings are the subject today. A lot of people have tight hamstrings, or they feel like they have tight hamstrings. They stretch and stretch and stretch their hamstrings. They can't bring their foot to their face or whatever your problem is. But a lot of people have this sensation of my hamstrings feel tight. Well, what if they aren't actually tight? Tightness we think of as like the muscle's short. It's in a shortened position, and it's just knotted up and it's not stretching. But that's not the case for a lot of people. A lot of people don't technically have short hamstrings. They just have the perception that their hamstrings are tight, and in other cases, a lot of times the feeling of tightness is more of a perception. So a little diagram here to go over. So why your hamstrings feel tight. So when we stand, our pelvis is, we're just gonna look at the pelvis and what's going on here, and then the knee, which is where the hamstring runs between. So it runs from the pelvis down to the knee, the back of the knee, and so we typically have a little bit of a pelvic tilt. Your pelvis will tilt a little bit forward. If we're looking, this is looking from the side. So we got our legs, our pelvis, and then this is our spine with our natural curvature, and then the person's head. So with this is quote unquote normal posture, which is a little bit different for everybody. It's not the same, but we can definitely be on different extremes of certain postures, which is what we're looking at here, which is what's called an anterior pelvic tilt. So that means that this pelvis is tilted forward. So if you see that, this front part is more forward, and this triangle is tilted forward. So if we were to look at where the hamstring attaches on the pelvis, I put it a little bit like middle of the pelvis here. So as you can see, it's a pretty similar spot on both sides. But if you look at where it is going from the pelvis to the knee here, you can see that on this one it's much longer. So it's kind of hard to differentiate because I don't have another colored marker. But if you look right here, you can see this is much shorter than that black line. So that's because we're bringing these 2 points apart, which is typically what we do when we stretch a muscle. So in your normal standing posture, your hamstring is just constantly on a stretch. That's why it feels like it's tight. That's why when you stretch it, it doesn't get better. It continues to feel tight because we have to fix this anterior pelvic tilt. So if you have tight hamstrings and you've tried stretching them and it doesn't work, or massaging or foam rolling or whatever, if you're looking for answers for your tight hamstrings, then give us a call at 607-425-3369, or email us at Brett, BRETT, @limitlessptny.com.